So, welcome to the show, Laurie. We heard that you had quite an exciting time, boots on the ground at New
Oh
York
my
Comic Con.
gosh.
What all the
Literally boots on the
fans,
ground because I tried on the Fluvog boots.
oh, wow, how
You
were they?
did?
Oh, how were they?
Yes. So they were actually incredibly comfortable,
Oh, didn't
which
Ooh.
expect
makes sense.
that.
They're Fluvog. I don't know if you're familiar with Fluvog, but that's,
No.
a famous name in shoes for a very, very long time. So those
Oh.
boots are insanely expensive, way more than I would spend on like all the shoes I might need for 10 years because I'm a cheapskate. But those shoes are well made. They'll last for those are the shoes that you bring to be repaired. You don't replace them.
Mm.
Over
Yeah.
the years. And they're
Yeah.
beautiful and they're super comfortable. And the booth was lovely and decked out with Starfleet Academy pictures of the cast and stuff. So, but yes, I went to the panel. I did the Starfleet Academy experience.
Oh, how was that?
Okay.
I went to a handful of vendors, so it was really fun. The Academy experience was very fun. It was short, like it's 3 rooms basically, and that's it. And you're training, you are a cadet, and then they tell you, I guess, sort of what your major is. Only I got like undeclared or something, which I was very disappointed by.
Wow.
But
Hmm.
apparently that's a good thing. Um,
Yeah,
Free agent.
you get to do whatever you want.
but you go through and there's a thing where you get a personalized ID card. Actually, hold on.
Joel and Valisok says the boots are 600 clams.
Yes,
Wow.
they are.
Oh, and
Wow.
So
somebody, there it is.
can
Hang
you
on. I'm
guys
gonna,
see it?
yeah, hang on. I'm
Um,
gonna spotlight it.
Oh, it's got your picture on
Oh,
it.
fun.
yeah.
Oh,
Cool.
and your name.
Yes. So you go
Oh.
through and then you get this card at the beginning. You answer some questions, it gives you the card. And then because you tap the card every time you play a game, it knows your name and it's personalized to you and it's tracking your score. So whether you're playing a game
Fun.
where you're saving these plants or you're answering questions or you're firing at things, they had it was a full human-sized screens and you're using your hand to move the ship, which unfortunately was a
Oh.
little bit frustrating because you'd be like, eh, but I like the idea of it anyway. And then,
You guys were the first people to be able to move ships with your hands since Yoda
yeah, there you go.
Bloop,
in
bloop, bloop.
Dagobah. Come on, that was pretty felt I felt that felt
Oh,
good
judge me
coming
by my
out.
size, do you?
And all the people
Good. It was good.
working it were in uniform and like super into it. They were like
Awesome.
very much enjoying it and having a good time being in character and wearing the boots, by the way, the $600 boots.
Can I just say that Katie in the live chat says she always enjoys Lori's articles on Trek Movie.
Oh, thank
Aw.
you.
Yay!
Yeah, so do we.
Woohoo!
Thanks,
Very
Yeah, we
sweet.
Katie.
do.
Thanks,
Hey,
Katie.
uh so you did so it was 3 rooms, which is already bigger than I expected. You're like, it was only 3 rooms, but I'm like, whoa, Star Trek rooms?
Do you remember the big one
Woohoo!
they did it at the Intrepid in New York City. They had a Starfleet Academy experience. It was like TNG branded years ago. Like my son was maybe 12 when I took him and now he's 21, so it was a long time ago. And
Wow.
that was like a huge elaborate full ship kind of amazing experience. But this,
Ooh.
for a Comic-Con pop-up, I thought it was pretty fun and cool to be able to do. And if you didn't look up and couldn't see the big rafters of the Comic Con ceiling, just don't look up. And then it felt very real. It was fun.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of people in line to do it. I think they said the wait was 30 minutes. I was very fancy. And so I had a VIP pass for it.
Ooh,
Yeah.
there you go.
Ooh.
Sorry, people in line that I went to the front
Mhm.
of. I apologize.
Aw.
But it was very
So,
cool. It's like 5 people at a time, so they treat you as like the
mhm.
new class, and then you go through the whole thing together.
Oh, cool.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, it was very,
That's
very fun. And
great.
here's the cool thing. When I got to, the Javits Center where they have Comic-Con is gigantic.
Yeah.
And it's so packed with people that there's sometimes just to move from one place to the other, it takes so long because it's so jam-packed. And yet, the minute I walked in, one of the big entrances to the show floor right away was where the Academy experience was. This is front and center.
Oh,
Keep in mind, a couple of years ago to find the Paramount booth, you're like looking at a map and you're going to the back of the room and it's in the corner and it's tucked away.
Yeah.
This was like immediately when you walk in, and the second I got there, the entire New York away team was there doing their photo. So you've got
Oh,
a ton of people in costume and they're doing that. Everybody go to this side. Okay, everybody go to this side. And there was like someone being killed by a moopsie. And they were all, I mean, they all looked great and they're having a great time. And that was my welcome to Comic-Con, was like Marina Kravchuk, the whole team is there, everybody's there, taking these
nice.
pictures. And then even some of the other booths, like Fan Home, which has a lot of the ships, and they have the hero the ships from Hero Collector. They um they were also like right by an entrance, a very large booth right by an entrance, which is
Yay.
nice and rare for Star Trek to
Yeah.
Right.
have things that are
Yeah.
so close and so easy to find. And get your zooming ready.
Nice shuttlecraft.
I got I
Ooh,
got
Wow.
an
you
original
got toy.
a 1701, no bloody A, B,
Wow.
C, or D.
But what's up with that shuttlecraft
Yes,
Oh,
too? Like that's a big one.
I
here's the you
know.
know what's crazy?
Right?
So someone
Is
on
that
Instagram.
Chinkapog?
Yeah.
Yes, I have a lot of
Good
things.
eye.
Someone on Instagram sent me her entire next gen toy collection for
Oh,
free, and she
cool.
doesn't even know me.
Wow,
She
that's
like
so
messaged me
Wow.
and
cool.
said, "I see you really like Star Trek." She's this amazing comic art. I see her like I follow her just because I love her drawings and her comics and stuff. And then she just sent me like the phaser, the shuttlecraft, the Enterprise. They all still make sounds. I put batteries and everything.
Beautiful.
Oh,
So sweet, right?
I think I have
yay.
that shuttlecraft somewhere actually. I mean, not that one.
It's
That one's yours.
huge.
Like,
Is that the Goddard?
It makes sounds too.
yeah, you could wow. Maybe I
It's
don't have
cool.
that
That's
one.
Light
so
is
cool.
I
I
love
just
that
remembered too
stuff.
that somebody asked a question to Sirach about makeup, and I totally forgot to ask that one. So if you were the person that asked about makeup, my apologies. I'll ask him on the seventh rule or something. uh, so
Whoops.
Lori, okay, so that's really cool. It does seem like either New York is giving Star Trek the best treatment of the major cities, or that Star Trek has been focusing more on New York lately because it's been shooting a lot in Toronto. I don't know which one it is, but it seems like when New York Comic Con is the place to be for Star Trek announcements lately.
Mm,
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't, I'll be honest, it wasn't great for announcements. I mean, we got
Hmm.
trailers and stuff,
mm.
which was great. Like, so I went to the panel, which was really fun. And I have to say, one of the highlights of the panel was when the Starfleet Academy trailer came on, the whole cast, the young cast jumped off the stage so they could watch it. Like, they were so
Aw,
excited. And then Carice Brooks was like
yay.
crying. She was literally crying because she was
Oh,
like
Aw.
so moved. I think for them, just seeing the fan reaction, this was one of their first big exposures to fans for sure. So
Yeah.
that was very exciting, and the trailer went over really well. But yeah, they made it, the panel was huge. They did Strange New Worlds and Starfleet Academy, and had Paul Giamatti and Holly Hunter right there on the stage, which is just like you
how
can't
are
even.
they?
They were
That's two
amazing.
legends.
They're two
Yes.
legends. I've been a fan of hers for so many years that I am just
Yes.
counting them. I'm praying the moment
Yes.
comes where someone says, "Are you ready to interview Holly Hunter?"
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my
Oh, that
God. Can
would
we
be
just talk
so
about
fun.
broadcast news first and then once around and then so all of that. I can and she and Paul both said they'd been watching Star Trek since they were 8 with their dads.
That's true that
Mhm.
they're prepped to say that. No. That's definitely a thing that they do. Okay, go when you go out there, if you want the fans to like you, just say, "Oh, I've been watching for," because that's
Yeah.
what.
Just say
But
Spock
anyway,
every once in a while and everything will be
yeah.
great.
And I grew up loving Spock. Nanu,
Yeah.
nanu.
Yeah.
Anyway, Lori, I wanted to ask you this, and maybe this isn't important, but it is to me. How much Star Trek cosplay did you see? Boots on the ground.
Ooh.
I mean, arriving to see the whole away team was a lot. That was a lot. And then, like at the when I went to the panel, I would say I saw quite a few people. You know what? I was there. I was waiting with Yvette from the Sci-Fi Sisters,
Hmm.
and
Yes.
she said to me that she'd seen a couple of people in Sci-Fi Sisters shirts. And she went up to one of them and she was like, "Hey, I like your shirt." And she was, of course, also wearing one. And the woman just said, "Oh, thanks." Like no understanding that she was actually talking to one of the Sci-Fi Sisters.
Oh no.
It was very funny.
Aw.
But I would say I mean, it's Comic-Con, so it's really just a huge mix of everything. I stumbled into a recreation of the Spider-Man meme with five people dressed as Spider-Man. There's a picture of that on the Trek movie site because I just had to include it in my Star Trek article because it was just too funny. And like a guy as like Superman holding up the Daily Planet, all that kind of stuff. But I would say I saw more Star Trek cosplay than I saw last year.
Nice. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that idea. I love that, hearing that, not that idea. I do love that idea, but I love hearing that because it just means that hopefully Star Trek is gaining more traction again. Because
Yeah.
I feel like we've been kind of on that fence of, is it going to continue? Isn't it going to continue? But it feels like there's a little bit more hope nowadays.
I think
Maybe
you're
I'm
right. Like
wrong.
the first few times I went to Comic-Con, it wasn't there wasn't all the Star Trek, and this
Mhm.
was early on, I guess. They had like a Star Trek Beyond booth that was
Oh
basically
yeah.
just you take a picture. That
Mhm.
was it. Um, so I think, there does seem to be a lot. We're in a very strange time for Star Trek right now because we
Yeah.
don't know what the future's going to bring and how much of it we're going to get. So it was
Yeah.
encouraging to me that they were still taking up a space in the main hall, Empire
Yeah.
Stage, and that they were still, I know that there were other events that the cast was doing that people were going to. The room was packed, there were a ton of people in there, lots of yelling and cheering and screaming and happiness. So I hope you're
Nice.
right. And I think you're right.
I
And I
hope
hope
so
you're
too.
right.
Well, in a way,
Lori,
it
here.
reminds me. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead and ask it. I'm just pulling up your article on TrekMovie.com. Everybody go to TrekMovie.com because, come on, that's where you go for Star Trek news, right? But I'm just going to sift through some of your pictures if that's okay. Go ahead. What
Sure.
was your question, Matt?
Well, I was just going to say it kind of reminds me of when I worked at Universal, and the lot was not there was not a lot going on at that time, right? There were a few things here and there, but largely a lot of the sound stages weren't being utilized. And then Comcast bought a majority share in NBC Universal, and they came in and they were like, "Okay, we got to do something about this. We have this historic lot that's not doing anything." And so I'm kind of hoping with Skydance coming in and the merger and the Ellisons being fans of Star Trek that
Hmm.
hopefully it's going to be kind of that same infusion of enthusiasm for the franchise again.
I hope so.
Hmm.
There you
That
go.
that
See, I cropped that so
Oh,
you couldn't
that's
see the
fun.
rafters, which were ruining it. So I just
wow, this is
Well done. Well
gorgeous.
done.
It's
Yeah, I wish I
very
could have spent more
nice.
time in the room looking at everything, but they do kind of move people through.
Sure.
Hmm. Does make you want to
Oh, there it
press
is.
buttons.
Yeah,
Well
that game
done,
was like,
cadet.
do you remember that game Simon?
Oh
That with
yeah.
the
Mhm.
Yes.
four lights? It was like that, like it
Yes.
showed you the ship, and then different parts would light up in different sequences, and you would try to reproduce them. I did great on
Ooh.
my first round. I didn't save my second round score for personal reasons.
For reasons.
For reasons.
Wow, look at this.
And this is a set, so if you see
Ooh.
the new pictures or the trailer from Starfleet Academy, you can see they have a
Yeah.
botany area that's like this, which I didn't know because I hadn't seen the trailer yet when I
Hmm.
checked that out.
So
Ooh,
But it
pretty.
looked great. It looked really good.
cool.
Did it smell like real
Oh.
alien flowers?
Sadly, no, or maybe happily, no. I'm not sure.
Or maybe flowers on alien planets smell like plastic, you know?
Maybe they do.
Or
Didn't
or
shoot any spores at me
desperation
or
in BO.
anything.
And if there was ever any question as to who took this picture, you don't even have to say photo by Laurie Ulster at the bottom there.
Because there I am.
Botany Bay.
Really?
Botany Bay.
Really?
Wow, this is great.
Oh, so much fun.
So
I want to play
that thing
these
was like
games.
was life size. Like it was a huge screen, bigger than I am.
Wow.
Wow.
Is that the ship in the corner there, or is that their like symbol for the academy?
That is the shape of the ship, and it's also on all the badges. So I also got
What?
getting my loot. So they give you a pin, and I believe the pin is in the shape of the ship.
Hang on, this is the ship?
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got to see this, Lori. What do you got for us? Hang on,
Ooh.
hold that up.
I can actually take it out
There
of
it
the
is.
plastic if that makes it better, but
That's the
This,
ship.
that's cool.
or it's the
And the
pin for the looks like the
cells.
ship. I don't know. It's very
Yeah.
confusing, but that is
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got a very like Miranda,
yeah.
Miranda
look to
class, yeah.
it. Yeah.
Hmm.
And then
Wow.
They remind.
they also gave these stadium bags, the clear bags.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't go to a lot of Taylor Swift concerts, but if I did, I would need this. I'll give it to my daughter.
I
She'll
limit
need it.
myself to 10 per year because
Yeah.
anything more than that is just
I
unnecessary.
mean, they're only like $800 a ticket. So, but yeah,
Only.
I mean, people do need these bags when they go to events. So it's kind of cool and
Yeah.
it's branded to Starfleet Academy. I love
You could
getting
go to
free
like
stuff.
3 Warriors games for that price.
Oy vey.
I know. Could go,
Wowie
what? Let me see
zowie.
if there are
You
any
could
more
get your
pictures here.
$600 boots and then go to your $800 Taylor Swift concert.
Oh my
Holy
gosh.
mackerel.
Oh, there's your pal.
Yeah,
Oh, your friend Riker.
my little Riker.
Riker.
He's always there.
Oh,
Yeah, big signage, which was really nice to see.
yeah, that's
I mean, people
great.
always look at that and then all they do is complain about who's not on the sign.
Oh, exactly. That's the number one. We always make that joke that that's the number one thing Star Trek fans do. You get a collage of 5
Yeah.
people, or a collage of 40 people, or a collage of 7. It doesn't matter. The first thing they do is, "Where's Odom?
Yeah, the
Where's
same
Kirog?"
Nana's book, right? The same thing. Like you've got
Yes.
this collection of women and people are like, where's so and so? And I'm like, okay, there's only so many
Ah,
people you can put in.
Right. And so I guess my question is, where's
where's
Cisco?
Cisco?
Exactly.
I mean, I did
Send it
look at
back
it and wonder where Deep Space Nine was.
Yeah, and I do find myself wondering what their thought process is when deciding. And it seems pretty obvious to me, like they're like, okay, look, this is the current show. Picard was also in a current
Mm-hmm.
show. Janeway was also in a current show. This
Mm-hmm.
is Discovery, which is, of the current era. And
Right.
Chris Pine's Kirk, that covers, Kirk and original series in its own way. Plus, it's Skydance.
Mhm.
Right.
You see,
Yes.
so
Yep.
that's
Right.
something like this. This is probably if they
Oh,
had 5, this
I
kind
don't
of
think they
covers
made
all the
this after
bases.
the Skydance thing, though. I feel like this banner
this is
feels familiar. Like
yeah.
maybe
Oh.
it's not super new if you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
not sure. And
But Pine
I
covers all the movies, the recent movies.
Right.
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 and I will
The
say that there
new.
does seem to be a slight reluctance to include Shatner in certain things.
Yep.
Yes.
Mm.
There's an anti-Shatner bias.
Mm.
Yeah, there are words to be said about that. But there's also an anti animated show bias. Like you don't see Freeman, who is a captain, very
Right.
often.
Yep.
You don't necessarily see Dal or Gwyn because maybe it's because it's kind of blurred where it's like with Freeman, do you go with the captain or do you go with the main character?
Right.
In Lower Decks. With Prodigy, do you go with the one that was the captain for most of the show or the one that became the captain later, who was Gwyn?
And Prodigy's not a Paramount Plus show anymore either.
So
Right.
true.
So that
That's so
becomes a
sad.
whole other issue.
Right.
I think it's so funny that you can have as many conversations about what isn't there as about what is there.
Mhm.
And we do. So
Yeah.
So, Lori, we only have you for a few more minutes here. Can you tell us any final thoughts or any things that really stood out about New York Comic Con, things that they could do better, either Comic Con or Star Trek or anything that you want the fans to know about that couldn't make it? Because I couldn't make it, and by couldn't, I mean I don't want to go to New
Um,
York all the way over there for this.
Okay, first of
can
all, New
I
York is
throw
awesome,
New
I
York
and you
know.
is
should love New
awesome.
York because it's a great place. And in fact, it's the Javits used to always feel like it was out in the middle of nowhere. Now they've built up a lot more stuff near there, and there's Hudson Yards and the Vessel.
Right.
I had a very
Nice.
lovely, sophisticated dinner with Marina Kravchuk after the Comic-Con
Nice.
was done, which was a great
The nice
contrast.
marina.
How about I give you
Mhm.
my Comic-Con tips at a nice marina? Here are my Comic-Con tips for people if you're doing New York Comic-Con. Um, One, if you have to get from one end of the building to the other, go outside and do it there.
Yeah.
Two, bring snacks and maybe bring lunch. Three, bring really comfortable shoes and don't try to go for fashion. Go for whatever you can actually be.
Yes.
You're going to
Yeah.
do a lot of walking.
I feel bad for the cosplayers that have cosplay that is not walk friendly.
Except, you know what? They're having so much fun and everybody's stopping the great
Yes.
cosplayers to take pictures. So I think it just becomes this beautiful sort of love fest of people who put all this effort into what they're doing. And then someone appreciates a coworker of mine has a 17-year-old son who spent a month making a Robin from Batman and Robin costume for himself. And like I think it's from one of the comics, like something more edgy, not like old school silly Robin. And then when he got there, people kept asking for his picture, and then they asked him to join in a big photo of all the Batman and Robin people. So he
Oh,
like made all these friends and got so I think that's the
it's
beauty of
amazing.
Comic-Con. So the
Hmm.
cosplayers, like I'll be sitting in the press lounge and I just see this giant dinosaur thing go by with somebody holding the tail, and like there's just so much crazy, insane things going on, and everybody loves it and appreciates it. So maybe the people with the uncomfortable shoes, it's worth it. It's my answer to that.
Do you think that people like myself that don't feel like going all the way across the country to New York Comic Con should try it once because it's not the same as San Diego Comic Con or LA Comic Con? Or do you think like, hey, you go to one big city Comic Con, you've seen them all?
Well, I've never been to any other Comic-Con.
Ooh, so you're kind of like me then.
Right. I'm like, I can take the subway to the Javits.
Right.
Like I take a commuter train and then I take a subway and it's cheap and easy and fast and all of that. So that is part of the only, do you know
Mhm.
what? I went to San Diego Comic-Con once and
Hmm.
it was when Star Trek Beyond had the live premiere with the full orchestra and they were showing it
Ooh.
outside under the stars. It was the world premiere of Star Trek Beyond. I flew in that night, that day. I went to the screening that night. It was my first time. I was just started with Trek Movie, and it was my first time meeting people from Trek Movie in person. It was Kayla and her husband Andy, and um, we recorded a podcast when it was over, and I flew home the next morning as Comic Con was starting. So
Wow.
I didn't actually
Wow.
get to see Comic-Con, but I did get to go to that amazing premiere, which was a once in a
Yeah,
lifetime incredible experience. And
sounds
I
it.
was not used to being, I will tell you this, before I started with Trek Movie, I was not used to being around Star Trek fans. I thought I was the
Mm.
last one. I did not know there was a whole world out there of a million
Ooh.
people who would happily talk Star Trek with me day and night. I didn't know.
Nonstop.
So when I
Love
go
that.
there and I'm suddenly in a whole area and everybody there is thrilled that Star Trek exists, it was life-changing.
Hmm. And you can't say day and night without mentioning another big Star Trek fan, Kid Cudi.
I will never forget New York Comic Con when they're like, here we go. Get ready, everybody. Kid Cudi. And he comes out and he's I'm so excited to be here. My fashion line, Star Trek, whatever. They made such a hype, big deal out of it. None of us cared. Sorry, Kid Cudi. None of us cared. And then it went nowhere, and that was the end of it. All I can say is now I work at Audible, and Kid Cudi has a memoir out, so I'm like copy editing stuff for his memoir, and I just think, well, I'm glad you're doing something else.
Everybody just wanted Moopsy PJs. Just get
Yeah.
Moopsy PJs.
Yeah.
Anyway, Laurie, thank you so much for taking the time after a long day. I know it's late on the East Coast and you've already done your interviews, and we're still sitting here poking and prodding, like, tell us more. Tell us. And you're like, just go next time and you won't have to ask.
Yeah, you should go. It is really fun. And if you connect with the New York away team, then you'll find like a whole bunch of like-minded fun people also.
Love those guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. Everybody, make sure you read Laurie Ulster's articles at TrekMovie.com. They make the best articles, of course, and Laurie takes the best pictures.
Thank you. And thanks for having me on. That was fun. You know, I love you guys.
Thank you.
always
We love you
We
too. And we
love
hope to
you
see you
too.
back
Poking in
soon.
and seeing what you're doing and what you're talking about and what you're up to and who you're interviewing and all of that stuff. So fun.
Well, I'll give you a hint. We have somebody coming on right now, right after you. That's like, if you want to, well, bring them on.
Who is it?
But yeah, we do hope that you come back as often as possible, Laurie, because we love having you.
Thanks so much for watching that clip. We go live every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern with all the latest Star Trek news on the virtual TrekCon channel.